Hi, I'm Daniel Norman, co-founder and CEO of Aprao. Today we're going to be taking a look at a new release that we've just released, which enhances the power of the sensitivity analysis produced in Aprao. Let's jump in. So this is the Aprao report. You've probably seen it before. It covers all of the information on your project, but the bit we're going to be jumping in today is the sensitivity analysis, which lives at the bottom. Now, this itself isn't new in Aprao, but I'm going to run you through the bits that we have updated. But before we do that, let's just give you a little bit of context as to what the sensitivity analysis does. So what it does is it compares two axes, in this case, build cost against the GDV, and then it has an output in the table itself. So in this case, it's the return on cost. So we're looking at what happens if the GDV goes up or down, and what happens if the build cost goes up or down. So let's just give some context. If values go up by 10%, but construction cost goes up by 15%, I can see that my profit margin in that scenario will be 28%. The same is true if the values go down, we're looking at a 10% profit margin, and if the construction goes up by 15%, then we're at a 1% profit margin. Again, this is a great way to assess risk. So what's new? The build cost has now been updated. We used to show a total build cost amount, but what we show now is a much more meaningful pounds per square foot amount. That's obviously the same in other currencies as well, so dollars, and also if you're using square meters, that will also be used too. The next thing that's new is the residual site value sensitivity. This looks at the residual site value, and we've now included in the profit figure. So in the grey number underneath, we can see that the actual profit in this scenario is 7.5 million, and the residual site value is 9.4 million. So at a glance, I can see more information without needing to flick between different sensitivity analyses. Now, the next thing that's new is we actually have 3 new sensitivity tables. Now, these have been created specifically for operated assets. So an operated asset is anything that is income producing and capitalized against a yield. So let me give you some more meaningful context there. That's most likely to be industrial of any variety, any kind of income producing rental residential, such as student, build to rent, PRS, multifamily, etc., as well as any other use classes such as care homes or healthcare, anything that's income producing. So these 3 tables introduce 2 new axes, and what we've done is we've paired them up in different ways to give a valuable and useful output. So those 2 new axes are, we're looking at the rent on a either pounds per square foot per month, year, or week basis, depending on what you're using in your Aprao. The other axis is yield. So what happens to the yield if that goes up or down? And we compare that with the rent. And then in the third table, we look at the yield against the build cost. So those 3 tables are automatically produced every time you have an operated asset in your appraisal. And these features are released right now in Aprao. So if you're an existing customer, you can log in and start using them right away. And if you're not, you can sign up for a free trial and start exploring them in your own time. Thanks.